The governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, expected to unveil his plan to start reopening the state of Texas very soon. And starting today, Texas has a new retail to-go system. And Garrett, let's start there. What is this retail to-go? How does it work?
Hey, Craig, good morning from the Bishop Arts District in Dallas. This is normally a busy retail, shopping, dining area. Today, it's starting to come back to life. The governor has opened state parks. He's relaxed restrictions on elective medical procedures, and today he's allowing retail to go. The idea here is that it'll work just like to-go orders at a restaurant, which has been quite popular in Texas, trying to keep the lights on here. Some of these businesses in the Arts District today are waking up, trying this out. Among them is Indigo 1745. I'm joined by the owner of this establishment, Denise Manoy. Denise, what are the challenges of moving to retail to go, especially when your doors have been closed for the last month?
It's a huge challenge. We are counting on our customers that we have relationships with, that know what our clothing feels like, so that we can kind of get that out to them. We're also going to be counting on Facebook Live, Zoom meetings, Instagram. In fact, we'll be going Facebook Live later today.
So you're using technology to keep this going in a time. I mean, you can't have people coming in and trying on clothes just yet. It's a challenge, I have to think. If the governor says when he speaks on Monday that he's ready to reopen businesses like yours, are you ready? Do you know how to do that safely?
We're not ready. That would take a little time. We'd have to make sure that we have everything in place, because we're concerned not only about our own safety, but the safety of our customers, who they're our family, and we care about them.
All right, Denise Manoy, thank you very much.
Thank
so, Craig, you hear a little bit of that here. These businesses are torn by two competing interests here. They need to keep the money coming in. They need to try to stay in the black. But to be able to do that safely when they know their customers are concerned, when their business model is disrupted, you can't come in and try on clothes or pick up a book at a bookstore to flip it over and see if you like what's on the back of the jacket. That's a real challenge to figure out how to do that safely. And that's what businesses are starting to try to figure out with this soft opening, if you will, that is retail to go.
You know, Garrett, there's this push and pull nationwide over reopening Texas, the second most populous state in our country. How are leaders there in Texas weighing what they see in other states as they make their plans?
The governor here put together what he called a strike force, and they've actually been fairly cautious with their reopening. The next big rollout of options is expected to be on Monday. The governor's teased in interviews that he might open things like restaurants, bars to some degree, gyms, churches have been putting pressure on the state to try to get reopened. But they're watching what's happening around the region. In Oklahoma, for example, just across the northern border here, today they're reopening salons, personal care places like barbershops, nail shops, and the like. Texas will be keeping a close eye on how they do that. Likewise, they're watching what's happening in Georgia. Remember, the challenge in Texas is the incredible diversity of counties like Dallas County or Harris County, cities like San Antonio that are big, crowded metropolitan areas, and the dozens of counties across this state that still haven't recorded a single case. It'd be very difficult to put a one-size-fits-all policy in place for reopening the entire state all at once, and that's what the governor and his strike force are trying to work out ahead of this announcement come Monday.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.